Look at that. Another beautiful day in paradise. This is one of my favorite walks here along the waterfront in my neighborhood, Baja. In exactly 12 days from today, I will be turning 70 years old. I mean, it's still hard to imagine. How often when you're younger, do you imagine yourself turning 70? When you're young, 70 seems like, well, it might as well be like turning 100. 70 is ancient. Think of your grandparents. I think of my grandparents when I was a kid. They were in their early 60s, or I think my grandmother was in her late 50s. And they seemed ancient then. So I never imagined 70, but here I am. And I'm living in Salvador Bahia, Brazil. Never ever in a million years would have imagined that. And I'm both healthy and happy, which is a real bonus, because not everybody makes it to 70. Well, some make it to 70 being happy, but not everybody is healthy at 70. But I do have, as I mentioned before, a couple of health issues, but they're all manageable. Nothing that keeps me down. I don't feel much different than I did at 30, energy-wise, physical capabilities-wise. I walk up to 3 hours a day, etc. I sleep well. In other words, no complaints. I certainly am not financially in a good position as I turn 70, but I'm not destitute either. I've mentioned before, I was never good with money. There was a point in my life where I did have money, in my 40s and 50s, when I inherited some family money, but I went through all of that through travel. So I don't have regrets. I have many, many life experiences all around the world. Those are my treasures. And as I said, I'm not destitute. I do get a monthly Social Security check, deposit, and while in the United States or in Europe, it would be very insufficient. Here in Brazil, it's perfectly adequate, more than adequate, and I have no complaints. When I went to the pharmacy this morning to pick up a med, the pharmacist took my blood pressure, and she said my blood pressure is perfect for someone my age. And that's great. It wasn't always like that. I had a stroke when I was 64. My blood pressure was really high, but I think a combination of the medications I take, plus a much, much healthier lifestyle that I lead here, a good diet, and lots of exercise in the form of walking has really helped me, as well as my life here is very low stress. So Brazil has done wonders for my health. This is a weekly ritual I have, injecting myself with Ozempic once a week. I do it on Fridays. And I've put the little dose of medication into the, I guess it's an applicator or a syringe, I don't know. As you can see, it's got a very, very tiny needle, and it does not hurt at all. I barely feel it. So what's happening with my idea of applying for Brazilian citizenship? Well, the news that I had to give up my apartment and find a new one threw me a little bit and delayed it a little bit. But I'm feeling more confident now that the search for a new apartment isn't going to be as difficult as I thought. A dear friend lent me the money in case I have to pay a big deposit or something like that, just in case. So I'm going to go ahead now and find out what the next step is. Well, I know what the next step is. It's taking that Portuguese language test. I need to find out though when and where. Someone I know took the test here in Salvador at the University of Bahia, but I need more information, exactly where, what campus, and when. So that's the next step. And then hopefully the next step is taking the test and passing it. I think it takes a couple months for them to give you the results. And then once I've passed the test, submitting the test results as well as other types of documentation. Hopefully I brought everything with me. I brought all of the documents that I submitted for my residency visa, permanent residency. Hopefully that'll be enough. Things like birth certificate, marriage license, all of that kind of stuff. Hopefully all of that will suffice. And I will submit that, and then my understanding, I just found this good YouTube channel about how to do it as a foreigner, apply for citizenship. And that channel said that after submitting your, after taking and passing the exam and submitting your documents, it takes up to a year to actually take the citizenship oath and become a citizen. Brazil has had a huge influx of people applying for residency and citizenship, particularly refugees from other countries. Brazil generously accepts refugees. Think of Venezuela. Huge numbers of Venezuelans have fled Venezuela and have come to Brazil. Also, people from many other countries. India, China, Vietnam. Some come here without valid reason, but many do come with a valid reason, and so that's why it takes up to a year for them to analyze and approve all of the documents that you submit, but that's okay. I'm not in a huge rush. So those are my next steps to become a Brazilian citizen, and one day have a Brazilian passport. I'm at my neighborhood beach, Farol de Barra. It's a bit overcast, but it's also very warm. It's actually a beautiful day temperature-wise. As you can see, the beach is very busy as usual on a Sunday. And speaking of Sunday, today is election day in all of Brazil. Brazil, like many countries, has their election day on a Sunday when the most number of people are able to have the day off and are able to vote, which I think is very sensible, unlike in the US where it's on a Tuesday, a work day. Wonder why that is. Couldn't be because they want to suppress the vote, now could they? Oh no. Anyway, the votes are tabulated very quickly in Brazil. All of the voting is done on a computer, on a screen, and so when the polls close at 5 p.m., the votes are counted, tabulated, and around 7 p.m., you pretty much know who has won the election. If the one candidate does not win a little over 50% of the vote, then there'll be a runoff, but in most cases you know who the winner is by about 7 o'clock. And of course today I'm very interested to learn if my brother-in-law Eliamar has won his election for city council in his city, Santo Antonio de Jesus. It would be a really big deal, a big accomplishment if he does win on his first try for elected office. It's going to change his life. It's going to change his family life in so many ways. So I'm hoping he's going to be the winner, and I'll let you know. We'll all know in just a few hours. So it's an exciting day. And did you notice how I just quickly turned around? That's because I heard some music. And as you probably know by now, if there's music in the background, even if you don't mean there to be, YouTube will penalize you. So, oh my God, I hear music again. Frankly, I think it's ridiculous because, you know, in Brazil and in most places of Latin America, music is very much part of the scene in public. It's very hard to avoid. They'll allow you, you know, I don't know, 30 seconds of some background music, but you know, capture any more than that, whether you want to or not, and you get dinged. So that's why I sometimes have to turn the camera off or turn around and walk in another direction. Well, the results are in. Elimar got a grand total of 52 votes. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Well, I guess that's democracy for you. There were like, I don't know, an enormous number of candidates in his city for 15 city council members, and he was way, way, way down the list of the candidates. Kind of ridiculous, but anyway, he tried. So I'm going to say goodnight now. It's Sunday night. Have a great week. Beijos. Ciao.